Kenzie, you check the Facebook group. See if we're in there. It says we are. Hello, everyone. Thank you, Kenzie, for checking that. We're doing some tech things here, and it's actually really fun. So hello and welcome, everyone, to our talk all about community. I have the amazing Kenzie with us. I have the amazing Christine Tower with us, and the amazing Rakshani with us today. They're all either graduates or current members with us in our community, so they know the power of community and what this has helped them do in their business and their lives and all the things. We wanted to come in here and we wanted to share all the goodness about that here with all of y'all, because community is just so important to surround yourselves with people who want you to succeed as much as you want to succeed, if not more, right? Like my grandma used to say all the time, like, Lori, show me your 3, 4, 5 closest friends and I'll tell you where you're going, right? Mm-hmm. And because it's so true, like and I love it when there's people ahead of where I am, and then there's people like right where I am, because it gives you see the trajectory, you see what's possible, you see what is there that you can step into and have that for yourself as well. So I wanted to have these lovely ladies join us today and talk a little bit about what community means to them and what they've received, and have them share. So Christine, we're going to start with you, my dear. I would love to know. Oh, and we have another person joining us. Hold on one second. Let me grab there she is, Helen Marie. This is amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you all could join today and be here with us. So welcome. And Helen Marie is one of our current associate coaches with us in our amazing community, and a recent graduate of BodyMind Coaching as well. So Christine, like, there's so much to talk about with this, and I would just love to know, like, was there a time when, in your journey in BodyMind, that like someone inspired you to do that scary thing and to go and like take that action, but you could feel like, was it support, or just go ahead and share what you noticed?
That's a good question. And my memory is not awesome right now. So I'm going to have to think back, because that was was it 4 years ago?
Yeah.
5 years ago when I first started BodyMind. So yeah, I mean, I can't think of anything like specific, like one time. I think just having individual conversations, like, I think stepping into BodyMind was the first experience that I've ever had like this, and ever had with a community like this. So I didn't know what was possible to have. Like, I didn't know it was even a possibility to have a community like this. So I think it took me a little while to warm up, because it was something so new to me. Like, I knew it was amazing, but it was just so new to me. And so I remember being at BodyMind Live. I remember conversations with you, Lori. I remember conversations with Carly. Like, I remember these like conversations, and it really hit me like how amazing. Like, I knew the community was amazing, but I think that's when it really hit me. I think it took until then for me. It took me a while to really like step in and be like, oh my gosh, this is what community is all about.
Yeah. What did that feel like?
Oh gosh, like this massive amount of love, right? Just love for each other. Like, so a sense of belonging is the big thing for me. I think as humans, like, we really crave that human connection, and we really want that sense of belonging. And not that I don't have other friends and, other connections, but it's so different stepping into BodyMind and having the BodyMind tribe and the community here has been just a whole new feeling of like, wow, like the love, the compassion, the support, no judgment. Like, they're just your people, right? You find your tribe, your people, your community, and it just feels like nothing else. Like, it does, like you said, it makes you feel like, wow, like what's really possible, and having that endless amount of support where you lift each other up and you want so much for each other.
It's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Christine, because you're so right. Like, never before Body Mind had I ever experienced anything. I'm like, wow, it was just this amazing safe space to come into. And like you said, like no judgment, just like give us your dirty, just put it here, right? Like let's like talk about it, because we know that this process of transformation, the inner work, is not easy, right? Like let's just call it out now. This is a process. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. And having support in place from like-minded practitioners like is, oh my God, it's just everything. And it's just so, like you said, so supportive and so loving to see that you have like all of these amazing cheerleaders just cheering you on and rooting for you in such a compassionate and loving way. Thank you, Christine. That's a beautiful. And I remember our conversations, and Christine also referenced Body Mind Live there for a moment, which for those of you coming into the program, oh my gosh, like this event is so amazing. And it's just like the culmination of like all of the things that you're learning coming together. So thank you for bringing that up. And we get to travel this year. Woo, woo. So in Columbus, Ohio, and and meet with amazing hosted practitioners, and really dive in and get to know each other on that deep soul level and connect in that way. So it's like an amazing party with dancing and all the things. So it's really fun. Thank you so much, Christine. Yeah. Who would like to go next, right? Like Kenzie, like, what has been your experience with the community here? Is there a time that you can think of, or is it more like where Christine was sharing, it was like this experience that
Yeah, definitely both. Like she was saying, this community is so loving, and, I have other community, but this is the one where I come to share my wins. This is the one I come to when I want to share my vulnerability. This is the place that I know that I will get positive energy and encouragement, and also the fact that this community is coming from the same kind of headspace, the same embodied place. We understand each other in a way that people in my life don't necessarily understand me. And having a community of embodied people to support you and encourage you is just unbelievable. It's overwhelming even. I just feel so supported. And I thank God for this group every day. It really has been an amazing support system. You asked if there was a time that someone inspired me to do the scary thing. I have raised my prices 3 times since joining this program. And I've only been in the program for a year and a half. And I used to be like, you can't raise your prices more than once every 2 years. You know what? I've done it twice a year for the last 2 years. And my clients pay me, and they're happy to pay me. And I feel better about my work and my worth. And, I wouldn't have had the courage to do that without this community, without my one-on-one coach, without my coaching partner. There's so many amazing relationships that come from this group and this community. So I just feel super blessed to have found everyone here.
It's amazing, Kenzie. You bring up a good point about the coaching partnerships, right? Like this is one of the amazing tools where you get to, connect with another Body Mind member who also wants to practice the coaching conversation, and really, hone in on that and really build and strengthen that confidence muscle. So you bring up a really good point there, and it gives you an opportunity to, with another person, to really dive deep and go there into those spaces. And you also get hours towards your certification. It's like such a fun and easy way to rack up your hours, right? So it's so cool
really
that yeah. And it, like you said, you just get to connect with the person. So thank you so much for bringing that up. And can we just take a moment and just celebrate Kenzie for raising your rates? Woo-hoo! So many, was it 3 times in 2 years? You said
4 times in 2 years, but 3 since I joined the program.
Good for you, girl. That is amazing and powerful.
Thanks.
And yes, you
can charge what you're worth, everyone. Charge what you're worth.
Yes. Thank you for saying that, Kenzie. Yes. And this is the work, right? Like, yeah, like this is the support that you get within that community of, within our amazing Body Mind community to do those hard things. Even when I remember, receiving support from the community when I was going to raise my rates, because I was like, can I do this? Like, is this seriously allowed? I had never raised my rates. And here are people like encouraging me and sharing their stories and their process of how they did it. It's like, oh, okay. And I did. And I got paid what I was worth and then some. So yes, awesome. Thank you, Kenzie. Okay, Helen Marie, awesome. Would you like to tackle this question? Is there a time that you can think of when you were inspired by the group, or is there something else that you would like to share?
Absolutely. Yeah. Multiple times. But the one that's most pressing and sort of top of mind is actually one that Kenzie inspired. So a few months ago, she posted, I guess it was towards the end of her time in the program. She posted that she had let her clients know that she had an end date for her massage practice. And it was like, the light bulb went off and I was like, oh, that's where I'm at. That's what I need to do. I need an end date in sight, because I was in the associate coach program and I was like really loving the coaching, and I was integrating the coaching with my massage clients, and that was going well. And I had a couple people do programs, and I just wasn't feeling that excited about offering programs that had massage in them. I just was like, you know what? It's been 18 years and I think I'm ready to move on. And it literally was Kenzie's post, because I think you had set the date like pretty far out. And it just got me thinking like, oh my gosh, that's what I need. Like, it hadn't occurred to me. It just hadn't occurred to me that I could actually just end my practice. Yes. That seems like bizarre, right? Like, of course I can move on whenever I want. I can do that. But it took her post to inspire that and to just go, oh, I'm allowed to do that.
Can I just really quickly interject? It was actually Rakshani doing that inspired me.
Well, look at that.
So chain of reaction from the community. It's so powerful.
Yeah, so powerful. And then, other than being inspired to take action, the community just gave me extra accountability, right? And extra like proof that it's possible, right? Like, I knew if I posted something in the group and said I was going to do something, I would do it. Right. I knew if I was having kind of a day where everything felt slow and like nothing was changing, right? Like, we all know those days. I knew that I could look at what someone else was doing and see the proof that it's possible. And they would also share, like, I had those slow days too, right? You will get through this. What's the next small thing you can do, right? Keep on going. And so it's just this proof that, like, not only is it possible, I'm allowed to feel this way. I'm allowed to want more. I'm allowed to work smarter, not harder, right? Like, that's allowed. Other people feel this way too. And it's just like that validation and that proof that it's possible was so huge for me.
Yeah, that validation and proof that this is what's possible. And to inspire the idea that you even like, and that's what I mean about like when we step into possibility and seeing what's possible, because someone else like Rakshani got the fire started there, and then Kenzie, and then Helen Marie. And this is like that domino effect that community, this amazing BodyMind Coaching Community brings, and an inspiration to be and to step into that possibility and to take that action. And that's just amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that, Helen Marie. That's baller. Yay. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And thank you, Rakshani, for and this is the power of reaching out to community too, because that's a key component. Because sometimes you might be thinking, oh, should I share this? Is this too much? And it might stop you in your tracks. And I really want everyone listening to this of those are the moments, right? Hit post, because you never know what you sharing is going to have that impact on another person, just like Rakshani influenced Kenzie, Helen Marie, and I'm sure others. As well. So thank you so much for sharing that. So Christine, is there anything, I know you have a time constraint today, and I just love your beautiful blue background I just love that painting and the blue. It's just so peaceful. It just reminds me of water. I love it. Is there anything that you would like to share about, community, about what we're talking about? Yeah, go ahead. I see you. You're like, yes. I was like literally feeling pulled over to Christine.
Oh, funny. Well, I just hearing, everyone else talk to you. Yeah, more things come up where I'm like, oh yeah, like, when I mentioned it took me a little while, I think because community was such a new concept to me, and being in body mind, that vulnerability piece, like, yeah, I can talk to my really close friends about certain things and open up, and I wear my emotions on my sleeve. Like, people usually know what's up. Like, that is not new to me, but opening up to a group of people that you have no clue who they are was probably why I held back. Like, I was scared to make that post, and it took me a while to start getting comfortable with making the post and speaking up, saying what I needed to say, asking for what I needed, and all of those things. And I feel like my battery is going to die here. Shoot. Sorry.
It's okay. You're fine. You're fine.
If I go off,
yeah,
we'll see you guys later.
I love you, Christine. Let it be messy.
Oh yes, let it be messy, of course. So just encouraging, like, to step in sooner, I think, and step into, like, when it feels scary, like, just do it anyways. For me, I held back and I observed a lot instead of just diving right into the group. And I think that's why it took me a little while until BodyMind, where I was like, oh my God, these people are awesome. Why have I not, done this sooner? And so I think that's kind of one thing, that when you were sharing of, yeah, like, be vulnerable, open up, make that post, say what you need to say, ask for support.
Yeah,
because you're going to get nothing but love in return. And you're going to have that, like, you need that gentle nudge of, like, permission or allowing, or like, yeah, like, ooh, yes. Okay. This is possible. I see someone else doing this. I didn't even know it was possible. Like you said, Lori, too, you're like, I didn't even know I could do that. Like, I didn't even know that it was something I could do.
Yes.
Yeah.
It amazes me. Thank you so much for sharing that, Christine. Because, like, this is the thing. Like, you don't even know. Like, there's so, like, because if you knew, you would already have it and be there, right? And so, like, it takes that opening of, like, oh, hey, you could have, like, this, and this. Like, when someone said to me, like, because I was like, I don't get to say if I want to live in Maui or if I want to stay with my family. And I think it was Laura. She's like, well, why don't you do both? And then you could just live bi-coastally. And I'm like, I could do that. Like, that's an option. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's amazing. It invites you into and steps you into this world of yes and instead of choosing either or. You get both. You get it all. But the and. How can you? What would it look like for you to have both? Right? Like, totally. And Christine, you're so right. You bring up such a really key point, to be able to ask for what you need. Like, this is a huge. I still struggle here, right? Like, I notice it. I'm like, okay, this is a growth opportunity and edge for me. I need to ask for what I need. And this community invites you to do that. It's like you said, you get to be vulnerable. And it's in those moments of vulnerability that you, like, step into that cave, right? Step into the fear, step into that. And then everything you want is on the other side. And this community is supporting you every step of the way. So asking for what you need is so, gosh, so powerful. So powerful. Thank you, Christine. And if your battery dies, totally no worries. I get it. And if you have to pop off, like, I totally get it, because I know you have a time. And I just want to thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you, Lori. When you said community, I was like, yeah, let's talk about community.
Let's, right. I love you, Christine. I'm so blessed to have Christine and be able to call her friend. And I'm so blessed to have you. We're all so blessed to have you. Okay. All right, Tamara, can you think of a time, my dear, when this happened and showed up for you? When was it an inspiration or was it a feeling? Like, you share.
So I have two things that are popping immediately into my brain. And the first one is the very, very, very first share I did in the group was so vulnerable for me. It was around boundaries with a client. And I had actually yelled at a client because of, just the things that had like built up, and it had just come to this breaking point. And I did not know what to do. And I turned to the group and I was just like, oh my gosh, I just knew that people were going to come at me with like ethics and boundaries and like, you should have done this and you should have done that. And I was just like prepared for it. Even though I posted, I was like, okay, here we go. Please, like, still think I'm a good person. And all I got back was like, just like empathy and love and support and thank you for sharing and thank you for being vulnerable. And I'm so glad I posted that first post, because it let me know that like, this is it. This is where I belong. These are my people. I can share anything in here, good, bad, whatever, whatever it looks like, I can share it. And they're only going to help me through it. So I'm so grateful for that moment. And looking back, it's the beginning of the program was just like this crazy whirlwind, of like learning and implementing, but like that moment stands out. And the other moment that stands out for me was really recent. It was a few weeks ago. And basically like I was up in my head about programs and selling and my worthiness as a coach and just so much stuff around that. And I had been kind of talking back and forth with someone else in the program, not even my coaching partner, who I love my coaching partner. She's amazing, but it happened to not be her. It was someone else in the group who had been reaching out to me on and off about different things. And she just reflected back to me like, you are an amazing coach and people are waiting on you. Like, I know you can do this. Get your butt out there and do it. And it like motivated me to make this video, and the video led to other videos, and it led to me selling my very first program. And it led to all this other amazing stuff. Like, I've realized sharing for me is part of my growth. And so being able to do that, like kind of without abandon in the group and get nothing but like support and getting that reflection back of like, you got this and you're amazing. And feeling really seen and heard the whole time has been so life-changing.
Oh my gosh, Tamara, thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. I remember that first post. It's amazing when you just like allow yourself to be vulnerable, the healing that shows up, right? Like the support that shows up. Everyone is just there to really hold you up in that moment. Right. And you shared something. Oh gosh, you said something else that was like, just like, oh yes, being seen. This is a thing, right? Like this is a thing for anyone who might be hearing this and like you have a message to share. You have gifts and talents that are innate and natural for you. They're in fact easy for you. They come naturally for you. And sometimes the thing that's getting in the way is saying it out loud, being seen in a public space, whether it's a barbecue, whether it's a social media post, whether it's an email, whether it's a conversation with your client. Because what shows up, right? That fear to do the thing, right? And it can often, like Laura referred to this in the bootcamp training last week, of what's the lie that shows up right when you're about to do the thing. Like, and a lot of times it's being seen, right? This is the thing, like, I can't say that. Who am I to say that? Who's going to listen to me? I don't have a degree, blah, 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 whatever that story that shows up. Having community to support you, to Tamara, to have it reflected back to you, what an amazing baller coach, and that the people are waiting for you to own that. That's what your people are waiting for. The moment that you decide that you are going to own that, come forward, speak your truth, let it out, shout it from the rooftops, even if it's just like the front door for a while, and then we can go to a window and then get to the roof, right? We'll help baby step you all there, right? But it's having a community of support that helps you, I believe, is what I'm taking away from your share, Tamara, of rip off that Band-Aid, let yourself be seen in that way. And can we just celebrate that you did that video, and it was a Facebook Live, I believe, right? And that someone saw it, you spoke your truth, they heard it, and they signed up to work with you. We're celebrating you, Tamara. Let's just have a party for a moment. We're big on celebration here. Like, celebration is for me the way that you let universe know this is how I want to feel, which is key to your embodiment. So like when you're like celebrating, universe is like, oh, you like that? Oh, here's more. Here's more. So I love celebrating. So Tamara, congratulations. Rakshani. Oh, girl, I love that picture behind you too. I'm just noticing that beautiful, amazing picture.
This is the best trade I have ever had in my life.
So,
yes, this is a number
Okay.
2 print.
Oh,
And I have
wow.
another piece in my house too, and it's like my favorite space. And yeah, it was a massage trade.
Yeah. It's
Amazing.
amazingly beautiful. I love it. It's gorgeous. I'm excited to get to chat with you today too. So tell me, was there a time when the community, oh yeah, do you have a couple of times? Do you want me to
Oh
repeat the
my
question?
gosh.
Okay, you're there.
So
Okay.
like, in all intents and purposes, I totally was just like, yeah, I'm gonna hop on the call because I want to connect, and like connect has actually become a daily to-do list item. I feel like my journey in community has been this like process over the last like 10 years of my life, and just like teasing me and teasing me. And I come from a lot of abuse and a lot of isolation, and deliberately not having community and being kept from those things. And I've always felt like I was like, I call myself the Technicolor tie-dye sheep of my family, because I just don't fit in anywhere, not even with the black sheep. And I have felt that way my whole life. And stepping into BodyMind coincided with me stepping up for myself in my life and saying, I'm done with this. I don't want to live this way. And for the first time in my life, I have felt seen, I have felt understood, and I have felt supported. BodyMind has been a process for me of embracing community and understanding what community is and the power that it has and the ripple effects, because we are one drop of potential in the ocean. We are the whole ocean, right? And BodyMind is like, oh, that's all the other drops around me. And it's just so amazing. There has been so many times of sharing. Kenzie was talking about the price jumps, right? There was a time that I was feeling really crap because I got called out on that. I got called out and like, oh, well, you're too expensive for me. And like it hit me hard, and I got hit hard. I had felt really supported going into it. And so I just went into the community and I was just like, here it is. And to be able to receive that loving support, like, okay, well, let's have a conversation about worth and your worth and their worth. And like to be able to see that and to reframe that. And it just felt like I was surrounded by all of these amazing people giving me this hug in this time, like where I just felt low. And there has been so many times of that I'm so happy I found the community.
We're so happy you found our amazing community too. We're so lucky and blessed to have you with us. You're a true inspiration, and you just come in and share what you need. And I love the piece where you shared, like, this is about like, I am worthy. This is my worthiness. This is, what I get to charge now, right? This is what this is. And as you step into your worthiness, then you are allowing your clients to step into their worthiness with you, right? Yeah. And that's the true power. That's what's really happening. So thank you so much for sharing, and being, in community with us, right? And posting and and reaching out for what you need and allowing us to support you. Because that's really what this whole thing is too, is when you post, when you share what's going on, you allow yourself to be supported. You're inviting that support in. So thank you, Rakshani, for what has shifted for you, Rakshani. This is the questions coming through.
So
yeah,
much.
go ahead. Okay. Please share.
So speaking of that, like that ripple effect, community is not just about coming together in one space in one time. It's about aligning with other people who are aligned with you. And it's like BodyMind is creating this wave of change. And, I have always had the, be the change you want, be the change you want. Well, now I'm surrounded by the people that are the change I want. And I see that not only in my online community, but I'm seeing that in my personal life as well. It's having the support and the love that I've wished to receive is allowing me to see the spaces where I need to make the boundaries. It's allowing me to see the spaces where I can step into my physical community and just show up and actually receive. It's allowing me to ask, not just in a typed format, but with my words. Oh, this is what I need. This is what's going to happen. And I think that's just been the biggest shift for me, is coming from this place where I felt completely isolated and by myself and completely not seen, to this place where I am cherished and I am honored for who I am, so I can actually be who I am.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Rakshani. You could be in a place where you can actually be who you are. That's powerful. Helen Marie, what has shifted for you? I'll give you the same question.
I think for me, it's just been the realization that I can ask for support, that that's an option. Because I tend to be the person who just like isolates and just takes care of it on my own.
I'm hearing, oh, go ahead.
Sorry, until I'm in like meltdown mode, right? And then of course I'll get the hug from my husband, or I'll ask for help or whatever I need, but it would like take the meltdown previously. And so now it's the shift into like, oh, I'm getting into this overwhelm mode, or I'm getting into a place where I need some support. And that was a new thing for me, like trying to figure out what kind of support to ask for. Yeah, it was like I would draw a blank every time for the longest time. Like, what do you mean? What do I need? I mean, I just need to go do the thing by myself completely and just be done with it and like power through. And yeah, just the honoring my energy and understanding that like you don't have to push through. You can ask for support. If it's not done today, it's okay. Right? Just like all of those things that like previously were sort of my go-to mode weren't always serving me the best, because they would lead to those meltdowns, right? Like, so just, yeah, for me, just understanding that like, it's okay and it's necessary and it's an option to ask for support.
Yes, it's okay, it's necessary, and an option to ask for support.
Normal, dare I say, normal to need support and connection, right? Like, I love what Rakshani was talking about with connection being like a daily practice. That's on her to-do list now. Like, yeah, because, being a body worker or anything like that, it can be very lonely, right? If we're in practice by ourselves and you don't have people around you necessarily to bounce things off of and to ask for support from. Like, it's not always there. So just having that connection and the formalized methods of gaining support, right? Just having those structures in place.
I love that, Helen Marie. Thank you so much for sharing. I can so relate, because like I was the meltdown person too, right? Like, it's like, why did I look back, right? Because like we have community, we have our tools that that we teach of like how to recognize, like my grandma used to call it, recognize the pebble before it's the stone, before it's the boulder, before it's the Mack truck, right? Like, so yes, recognizing those pebbles before we're at the meltdown with the Mac, right? You know, and that that it doesn't have to be pushing and forcing through, that actually that is your body talking. Like when you feel the force, when you feel the pushing, that is the moment to be like, woo, hit the brakes. Let me pause. Let me come back to the body. Let me invite in possibility here. How can I ask for support? How can I ask for what I need? Oh, wait, yeah. I have this amazing community that can help me with that, right? And then helps teach us then how to bring that into other places in our lives, like with our families. And I think for me, like the thing is that it's okay. And you said this, Helen Marie, like, let's normalize asking for help. Let's normalize that you don't have to do it all yourself. Everyone, like, hear this. Like, let's normalize that it's normal to ask for help and that you can't do it all, right? We can't. We could, but we'd be melted down in a corner like a puddle, right? Snapping at our family members, right? So thank you, Helen Marie, for bringing that up here. That is very powerful. Ask for what you need. Ask for support. Listen to your body when it's, we can get through anything, but who wants to get through? Like, I want to experience, enjoy, and love my way through, right? And really, because this is like, we're on a planet, like, circling, and just being grateful for that. Yeah, amazing. Tamara, I'm going to come over to you. What has shifted for you here? I'm going to give you the same question.
So, God, I literally feel like a different person from when I started, or even like, let's say a year ago, because I feel like I started this journey and I met BodyMind like exactly when I needed to take me the rest of the way, right? And like those, it's like all those things that you feel in your life that are frustrating you, or that you have resentments around, or things that you've wanted to change, but you weren't able to. So all of those things, it's like I like shed these layers of like, okay, now I've learned this. Now I've learned boundaries or whatever. I've learned about my values, or I've learned, like, Helen Marie is actually my one-on-one coach. And, when we talk about like the support we need, there's like a level for me, there was like another level of like, not only can I ask for support, but I can ask for it exactly the way I want it. It's not too much. It's, people can always say no if it doesn't feel good to them, like it, just like that possibility was huge for me. And being able to, like, let's see, I guess just like the things that used to frustrate me, like one thing that used to really frustrate me is I hated the way I would show up and sort of like alter who I was for each place I was, or for each person I was talking to like make them more comfortable. And through BodyMind, I've actually found that, like, that's not necessarily a bad thing. The way I was doing it was not healthy for me. But it actually makes me a really good coach, because I can empathize, and I'm highly sensitive. So I can really like tell when somebody's like not quite there or needs to go in this direction. And then I can do that with them. Like I can walk that walk with them. And that feels really good. So I guess just, it's like whatever's in your life that you are like frustrated with, or you want to change, there's something about being in the group, and there's something about being heard, and there's something about working with another coach and partner coaching, and just all of it put together that will literally like help you shed those layers and get to the place where you want to go. And I think for me, like, it's kind of mind-blowing. I read a couple of, I had written an email. I should share this real quick because I don't want to take up too much time. I'd written an email back in October to a therapist, or like trying to get a therapist. And I had really like said my story and like what everything that was going on. And I just happened to like find this again and read it. And it was from last October. And I could not freaking believe that like all of these things that were upsetting me, all of these things that were problems then, I've not only kind of like blasted through, but I now know how to help other people do the same. That was last October.
Holy
It's
shit.
not even been a year. I'm only 6 months into BodyMind. I just gave myself chills. I have 3 more months in the program. Like, this is amazing. So
Tamra, oh my gosh, thank you for sharing that. That is a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And you said something, like you said so many powerful things in there, Tamra. And the thing that's really coming forward for me is by you allowing yourself to receive, right? And Helen Marie, oh my gosh, Helen Marie is one of our amazing one-on-one coaches within the BodyMind Coaching Program, also BodyMind Coaching graduate, right? So she knows this process, and you get your very own one-on-one coach when you come into the certification program as well. So for all of you who are already in, yes, you get your very own. We use our intuition to really pair people together and into their pods, and it's just really so much fun. And you said something as like you're looking back at that letter, you are recognizing all of the things that you've been able to shed and shift, and now, because you received this for yourself, you're able to know, I know where this client is. I know where this is. I know what that feels like. I know that I can confidently lead and help this person through, because you have that direct experience of being coached, having a one-on-one coach, also the community, because can we just go back for a moment, Tamra, to like that first share inside that amazing community where that's where it got started for me. That's like what I'm taking away. Would you agree that that's like how you got started on that journey to where you are right now in like 6 months? Like, holy shit.
100%. Like a willingness to be vulnerable from the very beginning, like set the tone for my journey in BodyMind.
Awesome. Thank you, Tamra. So glad to have you with us. And it's like fun, like this is like, it's so incredible that this is like my work that I get to do, right? I'm a retired massage therapist. I'm full-time coach. I'm the community manager and also lead associate coach. So like, I like come to sit at my computer in the morning, open up our amazing community, and I'm just like, hot damn, like what is going on in here? This room is on fire. Like these coaches are doing amazing things. And it's also like, when times aren't going well, right? When there is that struggle, right? When there is that block, and there's just as much support then too, right? To help you move through and get to the next level. Because that's what we're doing here, getting to our next levels, right? Kenzie, I'm going to come to you to bring it home here for us. What has shifted? I like, see, everyone's like the movement, right? Like come into that alignment. What has shifted?
When you were saying like we celebrate a lot to tell the universe this is how I want to feel, like I love that. It just like, you're right. I want to feel like this all the time, and I want the universe to know that. So you may have noticed me just kind of like dancing a little bit in the background. It's like it's the coolest thing about this community, I feel, is watching everybody else grow. I mean, yes, I'm growing, I'm changing, my life is getting better, but seeing Tamara's first post and how vulnerable she was, and now being able to see her in this space, seeing Rakshani, same thing, vulnerable posts, things aren't going great. Now she's growing and changing, and things are going so much better. And it's like we get to experience the waves of people coming in. I was in the July wave. 6 months in, the new wave comes in, so you get to meet new people, you get to see new people. And before my wave, there was 3 months left from the one before me, so I got to meet this awesome community, and then got to share the time with my awesome community, and then I got to meet this new awesome community, and then I joined Embodied Leadership, and I get to do a whole nother 6 months, so I get to stay with this cool community and meet a whole new one. So it's like my community keeps growing and growing. And I feel like my biggest shift actually happened because we are experiencing similar things. And my biggest growth edge came from somebody else explaining their thing. I was listening to a hot seat call, and somebody was talking to Laura about what was going on with them. And it came to a point when, I don't remember if it was Laura or if the person she was talking to said it, but they said, I am more than my massage. I am so much more than my massage. And because these other two people were having this conversation, I was able to realize that about myself. And I am so much more than my massage. And I'm getting emotional talking about it because I never even thought about it before. So many people depend on me for my massage that it became who I was. And I'm to a point where physically I just can't keep doing it anymore. And to lose that thing that is who you are because of a physical ailment, I feel like, it's like a dancer who gets injured or an athlete who's just too old, and it's not always going to happen for everyone in this field, but it does happen a lot. And to know that there is, so much more to me than that, and to believe it. But the cool thing was, it wasn't even my conversation. It was someone else who was in this same spot in this amazing community. And so that's the other thing I think is super valuable about this community is we're all going through similar things and we can learn from each other's journeys.
Yes, we could all relate on some level, right? And you are so 100% right, spot on. Like, you are so much more. Michelle is typing here. You are so much more. You always were. Yes. And like you said, it can become that thing that, like, you've got all these people relying on you, right, for this massage, and with BodyMind coaching, like, it allows you to really step into really helping them on an even deeper level, right? Like, we get to, I love to call it that, we get right to that root, right? And Julie Mavros, hi Julie, she's agreeing, you're spot on, Mackenzie. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. And like you said, like, when you come to these group calls, when you come to the Q&A calls, when you come to the embodiment calls with Laura, right, like, you receive so much, even if you aren't the actual one that even has the question. Just like Kenzie, like, in that moment, was able to receive exactly what she needed to hear and be like, holy shit. So much so that has stayed with you all this time. Yeah, mind blown, literally. And Kenzie, you also bring up another good point that, yes, like, you get access to, like, we have, we're using our Slack platform as well. And like, we have a place where, like, the current members, new members, all can chat, talk, like, what's going on, tell me all the things, right? And as well as have additional areas like embodied leadership is our program, like, that you can come into after, if you're just like, complete BodyMind coaching, you're like, this community, like, literally for me, like, what really birthed for embodied leadership from me was, how can I stay in this community even longer? Like, I don't want to leave, but this can't be over. So for me, like, that's the key piece of being in the energy of like-minded holistic practitioners, being in the energy of being inspired and shown what's possible every day, whenever you want to just go in there, was just literally life-changing. And that's literally, and it, yeah, that community. It's one thing to know what you want to be doing, what you would love to be doing, and it's a complete other to actually be doing it with support and accountability from an amazing badass community of amazing practitioners like yourselves. So yeah, awesome. Yes, yes. Everyone, I want to just take a moment, and is there any last minute parting words as we're wrapping up here, coming up on time? I want to just also invite, if there's something that you would like to share as we wrap up our time together today.
One thing came through for me right there at the end around embodiment and community. And I think for me, the biggest thing has been BodyMind has given me the support to trust my embodiment.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're so right, Rakshani. At the beginning, when you're bringing your body into the conversation, you're being from a completely different space than we've been before, and you're literally laying down those new neural pathways. And so when you can hear from your community of, oh, I know exactly what that feels like, when you're feeling called to something, but your brain is like, are you sure about that? And you're like, but this is be really great for my heart. And then are you sure you can do it? You know what I mean? It's literally this back and forth at the beginning, like as you're laying down that pathway, and then it's like, bam, when it lands, you're just like, fuck this shit, I'm doing it. Yeah. And it literally is like that tipping point moment, and having that support that helps you get there is the difference. So thank you for sharing that, Rakshani. It's powerful. Would anyone else like to share anything before we wrap up here?
I'll just share something quickly. So I actually said no to BodyMind, the program, the first time I was on a call. And I had been following Laura for years, /stalking, watching all her videos, right? I had done another program of hers that was like solely for massage therapists. And I knew the power of the community because she had a Facebook group with that. And I just kept buying like small bite things and thinking, if I just have all the information, I can do it all myself, like all on my own, right? Like I said before, why would I need support? Who needs that? Like, just do it yourself. And it wasn't until I had done another small thing that, there was a call offered at the end with a member of team. And I was going over what I had written down like the previous year, I think it was like, what do you need to receive in order to be your best self? And that kind of thing. And I was looking over my list and like all the great things I wanted to do for myself. And I had not done a single one of them. Not one. And right then I was like the call was like the next morning or something. I was like, I'm doing this. It's time. Like, and I need the support. I can't do this on my own. It's not going to happen. It's been a year. I've done nothing. I'm still in the same place I was a year ago. And so that for me, like, it was just like, okay, I know I need this community. I know I need to like dive in full force and just commit to it. And it was having the community, right? I had all the information.
Yes.
all of it.
Yes. And I'm assuming that you've done those things now, or you've been ticking away at the list.
I have. It was things like not working on Saturdays, just all those things that like I dreamt about, like taking Friday mornings to get my ballet class in that I wanted to do. Could not do it on my own. Right. And it wasn't until I like really dived in and committed and I put myself in the community and I said, okay, I'm doing this. Like the information alone was not enough to make the shifts that I wanted to make. It just wasn't.
Hot damn, Helen Marie. The information to make the shifts I wanted to make was not enough.
Just wasn't. It wasn't cutting it. And I had the proof, right? I had the proof of looking at this thing that was literally a year ago. And I was like, I still haven't done it. I know. I just, yeah.
Powerful. That's the power of community.
Yeah.
That's the power of saying the thing, saying it out loud, even if you're typing it or, whatever. And boom, and deciding, I need help. I need support. This is what I need to receive. And then look at and especially the things that you shared, like not working on Saturdays, like Friday ballet class, like, gosh, yeah, that's powerful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Helen Marie. Sure. It's not just the information, it's the support, it's the accountability, because you would have already done it if you didn't need it, right? Yes, Michelle Rockwood, powerful, Helen Marie, absolutely. It's that support and accountability. It's the, here I am, vulnerable, saying the thing, like this thing that's coming in for me right now is like, I'm just a girl, Michelle Rockwood. I'm just a girl sitting on the other end, right? I just want some support, and some love and some encouragement. And yeah, that's what we're all about. So Kenzie, Rakshani, Helen Marie, Tamara, thank you so much for coming on today and for sharing your story, your time with us, and just sharing how this community has helped and supported you. And all that everyone got to receive, you and all of those around you, and that ripple effect that have benefited because you showed up for you. You said yes. You asked for what you needed. So thank you. And I hope you all have an amazing day. And I'll see you all in our amazing, beautiful community too. So bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.